Happy Monday and welcome to our Medicare Monday. Today is July the 5th, and that means that is our first Medicare Monday of July. So we're so happy that you are viewing and tuning in today. My name is Melanie Garland, and I am joined by my coworkers, Susan Spilley and Megan Rogers. So thank you for tuning in. And we also from SHIP want to wish everyone a happy Independence Day, and we hope that you had a wonderful holiday weekend and were able to celebrate with your friends and your family. But before we dive in to today's presentation, we have very important announcements to make, and that is our Facebook Live viewers. We did random winners from anyone that commented or answered our wacky questions from those certain presentations. So we want to share with you who those winners were. So give me 1 second and I will pull that up for us today. Maybe. Okay, here we go. So Mr. Henry Holkenbrink, hopefully I said that right, was our lucky winner on June the 7th. And our June 14th presentation with the Alzheimer's Association, Miss Wendy Masters. Thank you for commenting and tuning in. And on 6/21, we learned about Medicare and caregiving, and Deb Drummond was our winner. I'm pretty sure she had to answer a question that day too, so way to go, Deb. And then on 6/28, Terry, he asked us lots of questions, and we just definitely appreciate you tuning in that day, all of you. So our lucky 4 winners, be looking for a direct message from SHIP or Melanie, and we will be obtaining your home address where we can mail your SHIP tumbler. So this is perfect for those hot summer days. It can keep your drinks cold, or even in the winter, you can keep them hot. So we're excited to send that out to you. And thank you again for viewing. And then looking forward into July, we want to make sure that everyone is still in the drawing for some certain lucky prize, which we're still kind of configuring with our home office just to kind of see what we have in stock, what awesome prizes we can send out to you guys. So tune in for that announcement. And in the meantime, keep commenting, keep answering our wacky questions, and you never know, you might get drawn to win a lucky prize. So thanks again for just kind of joining in on the fun with us. So we are going to start our presentation for today, and we will be going over our, hold on here, a little technical difficulty there. We're going to be going over our presentation, and today's presentation is going to be 7 things that Medicare doesn't cover. So Susan Spilley was nice enough to put this together for us today, and we're just going to kind of go over some topics, some things to consider just about Medicare in general, and hopefully to maybe prevent some surprises of things that you may expected to be covered and aren't, because Medicare coverage can be a little different than what you may be used to that you had prior to Medicare. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to get started. And just to, before we kind of dive into those 7 things, let's just take a look of what Medicare is. So original Medicare is what refers to the parts A and B. So I think of part A as admission or the skilled part, inpatient part of Medicare. So anytime you're admitted, you're normally going to be covered under your part A. So that's your hospitalization, your skilled nursing facility, hospice care, home health care. So admission is kind of the key word there. And then part B, that's the medical outpatient part of Medicare, which I think of as B for business, because anytime you're going to a business or, you know, an outpatient facility, that's going to be your Medicare Part B. So that's your durable medical equipment, that's your doctor's visits, that's all kinds of things. So the business part of Medicare. So we hear a lot and we see a lot of commercials and we get mail and different things about Medicare Advantage plans. And they are a part of Medicare, but they're not original Medicare. So they are designed to cover and manage your Medicare benefits and should offer the same things that Parts A and Parts B offer, but they are a managed care part of Medicare. So we also refer to them as Medicare replacement plans. So we just kind of wanted to make sure that we've got that baseline to kind of know the difference between the two before we dive into all the details. So Susan, I'm gonna let you take it away from here and you can tell us about item 1.
All right. So here's something that is surprising to a lot of people, as probably many of these 7 items are to you all, in that original Medicare doesn't cover hearing aids. So I don't know, I kind of think hearing is important, but nobody asked me what Medicare should cover. I think the rest of my coworkers and I would vote that all of these things should be covered. However, in July of 2021, hearing aids are not covered. And that includes things like exams and fittings. It's just nothing about hearing aids is covered. And when I talk to groups, especially groups of their employers have us in to talk, I always make sure to tell them that if they have hearing aid coverage under their current employer group plan, surely they have some hearing loss. And they should get in there and get a hearing aid exam and a fitting and equipment if they need it. So no hearing aids from original Medicare. Okay, the other one is dental care. Now, this is, what we usually just go to our regular dentist for, cleanings and crowns and things like that, just basic dental care. It's unfortunately not covered under Medicare right now. But sometimes a dental procedure can be a truly medical issue. And it's, if it occurs in a hospital, then usually the procedure is usually covered under Part A. But generally, when we think about dental care, that stuff is not covered under Medicare currently. There is some pretty powerful lobbying groups and advocates that are fighting to get Medicare to cover under Part B some dental care, some basic dental care, and that it would include dentures too, actually. So kind of be looking in the news for any information that the country is moving to including dental care in a basic Medicare Part B service. We hope so. Nursing home care. Well, I'm talking about the kind where you just can't take care of yourself and you have to go live in a nursing home. That kind of nursing home care is not covered under Medicare. There is insurance you can buy that helps you pay for nursing home, long-term custodial type nursing home care, and that's long-term care insurance. And we had Becky Vaughn with the Department of Insurance talking to us last week about the Indiana Long-Term Care Partnership Program. But regular old Medicare, nope. No nursing home coverage as long as it's of custodial nature and it's long-term. Plastic surgery, doggone it. Medicare doesn't pay for plastic surgery. No tummy tucks, no facelifts, none of that good stuff. So if by chance your current insurance has plastic surgery as a benefit, you might want to get tucked and stitched and lifted and plumped up or deflated before you move on to Medicare. So, but sometimes plastic surgery is covered, and that is if it's more of a medical traumatic injury. So I know years ago, I had a client who, because of cancer, she lost her jaw, all of this. And so she did have plastic surgery to extend some skin to cover up what was missing because of her cancer surgery. And of course, that was covered under her Medicare because she was an older gal and got Medicare. So those kinds of traumatic things, also if you're in a car wreck and you need plastic surgery to restore function, then Medicare would pay for that. Medical necessity is the key with almost all Medicare covered benefits. So get your tucks now because you're not going to get them off Medicare. Megan?
Thank you, Susan. Routine eye exams and new glasses are something that is not covered by traditional Medicare unless you have cataract surgery and you need a new exam to check your eyes at that point and to see if you need new glasses, because you probably need a new prescription strength after they do cataract surgery. So that will be covered under your Part B. You'll be responsible for that 20% copay unless you have a supplemental. But traditional Medicare does not cover just basic yearly eye exams. There is some coverage, if you're high risk for glaucoma or diabetes. That's something that you can talk to your doctors about to determine if your Medicare would cover or if you're high risk. And the next number 6 that is not covered is foot care with the podiatrist. So if you have a podiatrist you either go to or you're seeing at an assisted living that comes to you, this is not going to be covered under Medicare unless it's related to a medical condition like diabetes, because diabetes can do a lot of bad things to your feet. So you want to make sure that you have appropriate foot care. So that is going to be covered under your Medicare. But if you're just, you can't clip your toes and you need help with that foot care, that is not going to be covered. And the very final number 7 that is not covered by traditional Medicare is care outside of the United States or the United States territories. So if you're doing travel, your Medicare is not going to be covered outside of the United States. Now, there is some in Canada and the U.S. territories, but you want to be careful when you're traveling to know if your Medicare is going to be covered or not. So what are your options to get these 7 things covered besides traditional Medicare? There's looking at Medicare Advantage plans. They have vision, dental, and hearing, transportation, home delivered meals, extra benefits that A and B don't always have. There's private insurance that you can look at. Your health savings account, you can use the money in that account. Your own personal savings, getting a Medigap supplement for when you travel, trip insurance for traveling. That way you're covered if you're going outside of the United States. And then you can look at negotiating costs for cash payment or non-insurance, because sometimes you can work with the doctors to get a lower payment if you're paying with cash. Another option is Medicaid. So if you're someone with lower income, not as many assets, you can look at getting Medicaid as your secondary, and Medicaid will cover vision, dental, and hearing, along with extra benefits that Medicare does not cover. So I am going to turn it back over to Melanie.
All right, thank you guys. Wonderful information and great things to know. So basically, if I am getting a routine exam for my hearing, my vision, or my dental, routine cleanings, routine testing, I'm probably going to have to look at other options. But if it's something that's related to a medical condition, and we just had a question come in on our chat from Miss Brian Hill, which we might recognize her as a SHIP volunteer and a recent presenter, actually. And she asked if the retinal eye exams are covered. And so, ladies, I think we all know the answer to that one. And I would say that would be due to a medical issue. So that would most likely be covered, but it is always best to check with your providers to make sure that that is covered. We also have our number listed here, and our 1-800 number that we have right here on the screen is our helpline. So we have our call center ladies that can be contacted. They can help you from this helpline, or they can direct you to a local SHIP counselor that can also help you with any information or questions that you may have. So write that down, save it, whatever you need to do, because we are happy to help you. You can also message us right on Facebook or comment your questions, just like Brienne did right here on our Facebook Live, and we will answer those questions as we can. You can also find us on the web. We have our own website with useful tips and information. And another good place to go for general Medicare information is just medicare.gov. If you are someone that's not quite on Medicare yet, you can still visit that site and get general information just so that you're prepared and making choices for your Medicare when it's time to start. You can also visit it, of course, when you are on Medicare, or if you're maybe helping a family member or a friend. Medicare.gov offers a more personal approach to their site by creating an account, but you can also just go on and generally look at things too. So it's, getting your resources and information straight from the site is a good way to go to. Yes.
Right.
Susan.
And speaking of that, I did just go on Medicare.gov, and it's got a really nifty search feature, and I typed in diabetic retinopathy. And Brienne's question, and Melanie, your answer is correct. Specifically, it does cover an annual eye exam for people with diabetes to check for the diabetic retinopathy. But you have to be careful about who administers this test, because of course the eye doctor has to be a Medicare provider. And I would imagine that many optometrists are not Medicare providers. So you would want to make sure that the doctor is, as it says on here, legally allowed to do the test in your state. So always make sure your providers are Medicare providers when you're getting services.
Absolutely.
Right off Medicare.gov.
Well, very nice. And what would we do without these phones? We can just look things up real quick and easy. So that is awesome. And that is another kind of tidbit. I'll give a little commercial about SHIP counselors is we do train them to be prepared to navigate that SHIP site. So we may not know right off the top of our head the answer to your question, but we know how to look it up and where to find it. So I always say our SHIP counselors go the extra mile to serve you. So don't be afraid to contact us for assistance. So we are going to talk about, I don't see any other questions. Do you guys see any other questions that have come in?
No.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I think it's time to talk about next week's presentation. What do you think, Megan?
I think that's a great idea. So next week, I am going to be doing some traveling. I'm going to be going east to Kosciuszko County up here in the northern parts of Indiana to Warsaw, and I am going to be meeting with the lovely ladies at Medication and Dental Assistance. They are part of the Kosciuszko Home Care and Hospice agency up here, and they are going to be telling us about what they do at Medication and Dental, how they can help you, and what they do as SHIP counselors. So I'm very excited to be meeting with them. So I hope you tune in next week to have coffee and conversations with us when we travel to Warsaw and meet with Angie, Melody, and Diane at Medication and Dental.
Yeah, I think a good contest question would be, who can spell Kosciuszko County correctly?
Ooh, I like that one.
All right, you heard it. So I don't even know how to say it. So repeat that one more time for our viewers, Susan.
I believe if you live there, they pronounce it Kosciuszko, but I've
Okay.
also heard it pronounced Kosciuszko.
Oh,
But I think if you live there, it's Kosciuszko.
yeah.
Yes.
I've always heard it Kosciuszko.
All
Right.
right. So if
It's
you
got
can
a lot
spell it out, let us know. And we'll
if you
enter
can
you
spell it,
into-
you're ahead of me. I frequently type and mistype.
Mhm. Yep.
K County doesn't count.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in today. And ladies, I think we've got one last question. And this might be one that we'll refer to Medicare.gov, but I'll give it a try. Sophia asks, if you already have a cataract and go to the ophthalmologist,
Mhm.
will that be covered? So I want to say it's going to depend on the limits of your coverage and of that specialist that you're seeing, but it would be best to check with your provider and with Medicare.gov so that you're not getting any surprise charges. And I think Susan, she looks like she's focusing over there, so I think she's looking that up for us.
And while Susan's looking that up, I will say that
Okay, so while she's
doctors,
looking that up,
go ahead, Susan.
Okay, there's a lot of information if you just put in cataract in the search engine. And Sophia, I don't know if your question was really getting at a pre-existing condition or not, because you said you were already going to the eye doctor about it. Did I hear that right, Melanie? And so we know that
yes.
when you are new to Medicare or have a special enrollment period to pick up your Medicare benefits, then pre-existing conditions really is not a thing. That I always tell people, if you're scheduled for heart surgery on January 2nd and your Medicare benefits, you're eligible for those on January 1st, then that heart surgery is going to be covered on the 2nd, as long as your eligibility date or effective date is before your procedure. So you can carry on your chronic conditions right on through your Medicare benefits. So let us know, Sophia, if that really wasn't the question.
And we can follow up with you on a direct message too for more of that one-on-one assistance. All right, Brian asks us another question. 2 years after cataracts, Medicare will pay for eyeglasses. Is that still true? And I want to say yes to that question, Brianne. And our ladies, my co-hosts, are nodding their heads, but the thing that you get about SHIP counselors is that we always double check to make sure information is correct that we give to you. And that's what my two co-hosts are doing right now.
Yep. So right off here, it says Medicare usually doesn't cover eyeglasses, which we know, or contacts. However, Part B can help pay for corrective lenses if you have cataract surgery to implant an interocular lens. Corrective lenses include one pair of eyeglasses with standard frames or one set of contact lenses. So I guess if you want anything
Okay.
other than the basic plastic frames, you might want to pay out of pocket.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. So it
All
doesn't say
right.
anything in here about that post 2 years. That's kind of news to me. I knew that there was some 2-year issue with getting glasses and cataracts.
If I'm correct, Megan, you might know this too. I think that's a Medicaid is like every 2 years you can change your glasses. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, if there's any other questions, if there's any other things that you guys are interested in knowing, give us a call, give us a chat, give us a comment. We're here for you. And we're so glad that you tuned in today. And I've already seen some answers on our chat for our special question. So I think we're going to have some winners for this week. And I think we'll do the same thing that we did in June. We'll announce our winners at the end of the month. So another quick reminder is that these presentations, if you weren't able to tune in live, they're saved to our Facebook page so you can watch them later. And anytime you comment, anytime you answer those questions, you'll be considered into our drawing. So